Welcome back. My name is Patrick, and this is the Oilers Rundown. Let's start with the latest from Sportsnet insider Elliotte Friedman. The Oilers are trying to create cap room. I don't think Mike Smith is going to play, but that might be long-term injury as opposed to retirement. Don't yet have clarity on Duncan Keith, but could go either way. Warren Foegele, Zach Kassian, Jesse Puljujärvi, and potentially Tyson Barrie could all be moved. It's all about how much room they can clear. I believe the Oilers like Campbell. One player said last week that the Leon Draisaitl, Connor McDavid playoff explosions changed the way people see the organization. Edmonton's higher on the list of places people think you can win. Evander Kane? Still too early to say, as room has to be cleared before they can get somewhere. Suffice to say, if the Oilers can create cap room, this could be a very interesting and exciting summer ahead. According to the fourth period, the Oilers have shown interest in Vancouver Canucks forward Connor Garland. I'd certainly be open to the deal, but I'd be shocked to see the Canucks and Oilers swing a trade. In his latest 9 Things article at the Cult of Hockey, Kurt Leavins shares the following. Tyson Barrie's name is currently involved in Oilers trade talks, but a trade is not a sure thing at this point. Tyson Barrie likes Edmonton and wants to stay, and his strong postseason performance helps to make his case. The problem for the Oilers is cap space, and their ability to make other badly needed moves. Tyson Barrie has 2 years remaining on his contract at $4.5 million. It's a reasonable deal for what he provides. Unfortunately, he currently sits on the Oilers' third pairing, behind Cody Ceci and Evan Bouchard. If Duncan Keith were to retire, which doesn't look likely at this point, that could potentially be the saving grace for Barrie, with Philip Broberg and possibly Brett Kulak filling the holes on the left side. Evander Kane recently made an appearance at Edmonton's Brick Invitational Tournament at West Edmonton Mall. A nice gesture, and not one that would be made if Kane had no intention of staying in Edmonton. We haven't heard much lately on Kane. We know the Oilers want to bring him back, but a lot remains up in the air regarding his future. We should get more clarity as July 13th approaches. Leavins notes that many teams took notice of Kane's success here. If the Oilers can't retain him, other players could be interested in taking his place. We know the Oilers want to bring back Brett Kulak, but Leavins urges not to consider it an automatic. It's been mentioned he could also return to Montreal, and of course, everything has to fit cap-wise for the Oilers. If the Oilers' top 4 of Nurse, Ceci, Keith, and Bouchard remains intact, we could see a third pairing of Philip Broberg and Tyson Barrie, leaving no room for Kulak. Whatever changes happen for the Oilers on defense will revolve around what happens with Duncan Keith and Tyson Barrie. Leavins makes note once again that the Oilers see Jesse Puljujärvi as a third-line player. He sees himself as a top 6 forward, which seems to be the current divide. I think Jesse Puljujärvi is done in Edmonton. Not the outcome I want, but I think Puljujärvi is just too polarizing between segments of the fan base and media, and a fresh start for him is probably the most likely ending to the story. Last year, all the talk pointed to the Oilers and Zach Hyman being a fit, and that, of course, came to pass. It's looking like the same thing is happening with the Oilers and Leafs goaltender Jack Campbell. Kurt Leavins points out that Jack Campbell and Mike Smith both share the same agent, Kurt Overhart, and he would be in the know on Smith's future and the potential opportunity for Campbell in Edmonton. However, the Oilers are looking at multiple options. Arthur Staple of The Athletic reports that the Oilers have been showing interest in New York Rangers goaltender Alexander Georgiev. Staple notes that the Oilers want to send a mid-sized contract back in return. Lastly, Leavins notes that Oilers pro scout Brad Holland is a prime candidate to take over as director of pro scouting for the Oilers following Archie Henderson's retirement at this year's draft. Brad Holland deserves a lot of the credit for the Oilers bringing in Zach Hyman, Cody Ceci, and Brett Kulak last season, and Holland is also a strong believer in analytics, and is steering the Oilers further in that direction. Well, that's all for now, guys, but expect the news just to keep on coming. We got free agency coming up on July 13th, draft next weekend, so should be lots of trades, lots of speculation. I'll have everything here for you guys at the channel. Let me know your thoughts on everything so far in the comment section below. If this is your first visit to the channel and you like what you see, please consider liking and subscribing for all the latest Oilers content. You've been watching the Oilers Fanatic. Thanks for being a fan. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. I'll see you soon.